How's it going, everybody? Doing a video games haul here today. I got 4 games from the antique shops in town here in Ashboro. They have a couple of antique stores, and the one had a game I've been looking at for like 3 months, and I kind of knew it was going to be there, and it was. So I finally said, I'm buying that one, and I did. And then the Antiques and Geeks, I got 3 from. Nothing crazy. I'll start with the Antiques and Geeks ones. The 3 came from there. This first one was $2. MLB Slugfest 06. Oh, I forgot Pedro Martinez was on the Mets. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Dontrell Willis we got here. Manny Ramirez was Vladimir Guerrero. Albert Pujols, and is that Giambi right here? Jason Giambi. When he's on the Yanks, it is complete. I kind of grabbed it because I thought it might have some value. It was only $2 anyway. But it didn't. I've played these before. They're pretty fun arcade baseball games. This might have been the last one, maybe. The thing that's cool about this antique is the Antiques Collectors Mall, I think it's called. That's the one where I got the last game I'll show from. They have some video games up there, some PS4, a lot of Atari stuff. But some PS4 games, a couple of GameCube games, and maybe an Xbox One game or 2. But the Antiques and Geeks has more. They're like different kind of vendors set up in these places, so you're finding games like all over the place inside the Antiques and Geeks. The one has the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I need to pick up at some point. It's another one I keep saying I'm going to get for the Xbox, which I want to add to the Xbox collection. It's a cool game. But they have a lot. So I got the 3 of these games I got up front by the register area. There's this is where I seemingly get all the games from Antiques and Geeks. Is in this place. They have a bunch of decent amount of games in there. You know, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS2, a couple of PS1s, some Super Nintendo, maybe like 4 or 5 original Nintendo games, Wii, GameCube. No, there is no GameCube there. There is Wii. And some Wii U. Is there anything else floating around in there? PS3, which I don't have one, so. But anyway, I got this in there, and they have a bin of games that are like the $2 and less ones. So I got this one there, and the next one as well I got in there. These next 2 are just in generic GameStop cases, if you remember these. $2 again. This is Tales of Vesperia. I have this definitive edition on the Xbox One. I decided to grab this one, though. I thought maybe once again value if I wanted to sell it at $2. It's not expensive, so I probably could get away with selling this maybe like $10.99 or something, make a couple of bucks. But like I said, sometimes you do that if I'm intent on seeing something that I know has more value, or I'm not sure of the value and it's cheap and I want to maybe sell it. I'll grab it from these kind of places. But this one really doesn't have much. But at $2, you can't go wrong. These discs are all fairly scratched. This one's actually got a bunch of spots on it. I'm going to have to clean that. I need to test these as well. That's number 2. Number 3 is one I've actually wanted because I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that isn't backwards compatible on the Xbox One. I played a little bit of this on the PS3 back in the day and enjoyed it. Once again, generic GameStop case, but this one's Eternal Sonata. This one was $4. This is a game that this disc is actually in decent shape. I played some of this. This originally was a 360 exclusive. I guess it was timed because it came to the PS3 maybe a year later when this came out. It says 07 here. Maybe it came out on 08 on the PS3 because I'm pretty sure this was this is a timed exclusive for the Xbox 360, but cool game, has a cool art style and stuff. It's an RPG. I did play some of it. It's like I think the character you're using is dying, and they get powers as you're starting to die, or you're sick. All of a sudden you get powers, and there's like Chopin is in here. I think there's some other musical figures in here. But I'm excited to kind of give this one another play. Of course, I'd rather these games be complete, but you know what? $4. This game complete will sell for like $25. Even the disc only will sell for like $17.20, so that's still a really good deal for this. So, this is one I do want to give a play at some point, but I am getting Silent Hill 2 remake next week, so that is going to be taking up my time because I'm going to dive right into that. On a side note, I'm happy that has been reviewing fairly well, which is nice to see. I didn't know how that was going to review. I mean, I thought it would do okay. I was playing it regardless. I put my pre-order on. I'm playing it regardless because I love Silent Hill 2. I have not talked about that, I don't think, at any kind of length for this channel. I've talked about it on my old Barry Under Cliches channel that I couldn't access for talk about it, and I've done the Slip into Shadows ASMR. I've talked about it a bunch. But that's a game that I'm excited to play, and I'm going to be throwing that right into the PS5 and just playing it. That's going to take up my time. Because right now I've only really been playing some of the Bloodstone, and I haven't touched that in a couple of days either, so... But anyway, the last game was at the Collector's Mall, Antique Collector's Mall. GameCube came, was looking at it for since like June. Every time I've gone in there, I'm like, I'm going to get it, and I know it will be there, and it was. And it's a Wave Race Blue Storm. This was 15, not quite the 10 here at GameStop. 15. This disc is a little too. It's not in the worst shape, but you gotta. These places are no refunds, so you gotta, take a risk. Does have the manual and a little other pamphlet. It's cheaper than this is like 20 to 25 typically complete on eBay. I could take these stickers off and kind of get in there and clean up some of the crud. I might wipe the disc down, try to clean it up a little bit, but I'm happy to get this. I hope it works. I need to test it. Price wasn't terrible, and like I said, you're finding these kind of cube games for reasonable prices these days is actually tough. I love the one on the N64. It was fantastic. I played a little bit of this one. I never owned it back then. I think I might have rented it once, or a friend owned it. I don't know. I think I rented it, but they're fun games. I know they had one on maybe the original Game Boy was the first one, but happy to get this. Like this is an exclusive for the Cube, like this and like 1080, I think it's 1080 Avalanche, or those cheaper, if you get them on eBay, like $20 to $25 exclusives, which is a good price for the Cube. Because even a lot of third-party stuff on the Cube can get a little pricey, especially compared to Xbox and PS2. Like something like the Scooby-Doo games will run a little more on the Cube. Or even like the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. I have the one on the Cube that I got at a garage sale for 75 cents a couple of years ago. But I have it on the PS2. It sells for like $7 or $8 more on the GameCube than the PS2 or the Xbox. I'd love to collect for the GameCube. It didn't get a lot of those third-party games, but it is a cool system. But it's just all the games I have over there. The Quidditch, I didn't do a GameCube collection on this video, but I don't have a lot. I have a bunch of Harry Potter games that I got from a garage sale for a little under $3 each. And the Quidditch World Cup I picked up because that was fairly cheap. It was like $10. I played a bunch of that back in the day, and I have a Tiger Woods game that I got at a garage sale for I think $2 or $3. And that Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, I got for 75 cents. So just to get something... if I can go back and have some of the Cube games I used to have, Wind Waker, F-Zero GX is extremely expensive now. Super Smash Bros. Melee is extremely expensive now. I also have the Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike, which was like $17, $18. The Rebel Strike games, the Rogue Leader games, Rogue Squadron, I should say, sorry. Games on the Cube, the two that they had are not overly expensive either for exclusives. Same thing, $15 to $25 range depending. But the Cube is tough, like a Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Super Smash Brothers, Paper Mario is probably expensive, Mario Parties, Wind Waker. The Twilight Princess is definitely a lot more expensive than the Wii version. Pikmin's might be a little less because they've pumped them out on other things. I mean, the Wii had the Wii remote control versions of those, but those are probably still a little bit pricey. Animal Crossing can be a little pricey. But like some of them like the F-Zero, I was shocked. Star Fox Adventures is one that's not overly expensive either for an exclusive. I think F-Zero GX sells for like $70-$80, which is wild. Same thing with Super Smash Brothers. The Fire Emblem game, if you can find that, it's probably well over $100 now, but $120. Eternal Darkness is probably pushing over $100 now. It was an awesome exclusive. I don't know if Geist is overly expensive. That was another one. I bet you Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, is probably like $100. Let me check real quick, then I will end it on seeing how expensive. I had that back in like 2009. It's a remake of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation. Where are you, eBay app? It sucks because the Cube is a cool system. It's almost like the Dreamcast in a way, and this might sound weird, but it's like the last true feeling game consoles because you couldn't play DVDs on them or anything. They just both, that and the Dreamcast, had the feel of like a game console, and now it feels more like an entertainment system, right? Let's see, the Twin Snakes. I'm going to say it's at least $80. Come on. Twin Snakes GameCube. Let's see what eBay's selling it for. $75. Discs only. It was a tour. $90 complete. $110. It's nuts. It's nuts. Like the game, and the GameCube always, like, I remember in 2009, I was on my old YouTube channel. I remember I sent someone a copy of that's what people would do on eBay back then, YouTube back then. You'd send each other stuff. Like I remember getting Atari games from somebody, and people would have raffles and stuff. You can pull a name out of a hat. And I remember I sent somebody a GameCube controller and a copy of Smash Bros. At the time, Smash Bros. Melee, because I had like 2 copies on the GameCube, was like $25, $20, and that was 2009. So if you look at it now, if it's like a $75, $80 game, once again, it really hasn't gained much value over 15 years, but the thing is, it probably hit that $75 value like 6 or 7 years ago. But anyway, sorry, I'm just rambling about that. But anyway, that's just some antique store little video game haul here. Tales of Vesperia, Eternal Sonata for the 360, Wave Race Blue Storm GameCube, MLB Slugfest 2006 for the PS2. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.